A major diplomatic row has erupted between Israel and the United Kingdom. Britain has strongly rebuked Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu after he referred to the UK as an Islamic republic. A UK government spokesperson called the remarks completely unacceptable, adding that London had formally raised the issue with the Israeli government. Britain's sharp response came after Netanyahu made the controversial remark during an interview on an Israeli army radio podcast while criticizing British media coverage of Israel. Netanyahu said, "Someone once said that the first Islamic republic with nuclear weapons would be the Islamic Republic of Britain." The remarks quickly triggered outrage in London and sparked a fresh diplomatic dispute between the two allies. During the interview, Netanyahu was discussing Winston Churchill's grandson and his support for Israel during the 1967 Arab-Israeli War. He questioned whether Britain still had the same level of support for Israel today before making the controversial remark. Netanyahu said sarcastically, "Go find that in Britain today, which you could call the Islamic Republic of Britain." Later in the podcast, Netanyahu appeared to reference remarks made by U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance during the 2024 Munich Security Conference, when Vance suggested that Britain could become the first nuclear-armed Islamist country. Vance had made the remarks after the Labour Party's victory in the July 4, 2024 general election. At the time, then-Deputy Prime Minister Angela Rayner dismissed the comments, telling ITV that Vance had said quite a lot of fruity things in the past, adding, "I don't recognize that characterization." Netanyahu continued, "Someone once said that the first Islamic republic with nuclear weapons would be the Islamic Republic of Britain. We are making sure there won't be another one here in Iran." Netanyahu's latest remarks have now reignited the controversy. Speaking to BBC Radio on Friday, Israeli government spokesperson David Mencer sought to play down the row. He said Netanyahu was quoting someone else's remarks, referring to comments previously made by Vice President Vance. He was quoting what the Vice President had said, Mencer said. The United Kingdom has long been one of Israel's closest allies in Europe, but relations between London and Tel Aviv have become increasingly strained amid growing disagreements about Israel's military operations and the wider conflict in the Middle East. Britain was among several European countries that recognized a Palestinian state last year, a move that angered Israel. London has also adopted a more cautious approach than Washington towards the U.S.-Israeli military campaign against Iran. Relations have deteriorated further since Andy Burnham became Prime Minister. Shortly before taking office, Burnham apologized for the Labour Party's initial response to Israel's military campaign in Gaza, saying the party didn't get it right and needed to do better under his leadership, signaling a shift in British Middle East policy. In July, Burnham pledged to increase pressure on the Israeli government, including through additional sanctions on individuals and organizations, as well as considering a ban on trade involving goods produced in Israeli settlements that the UK considers illegal. The latest diplomatic clash now underscores the widening political divide between two countries that have traditionally maintained close strategic ties.
Based on the recent comments that you've made against Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, does the NYPD or the City Council have current plans to visit Israel this fall? And if so, do you think that your comments might cause a backlash on their reception?
I don't know what the City Council's plans are. They're an independent body, and I'll leave it to the Speaker to answer that question. I can follow up with the NYPD to find about those plans. I'll tell you, most of my focus today is Tremont Avenue Busway, but I will follow up on that, and we'll let you know.
Thanks. We'll go to Heather from News 12.
Hi, Mayor. How are you?
Doing well. How are you?
Good. Thank you. So a group of organizations are conducting sit-ins at courthouses across the city to review arraignments and just watch in on them. They're saying under your administration, arrests for low-level low-level arrests have remained high or even increased. They also cited data from the Mayor's Office of Criminal Justice that the number of arrests from January to June of this year exceeded 50%. They're kind of calling on you to address this and stand up to your campaign promises of addressing low-level arrests. I just wanted your response on this. They're supposed to be releasing their findings tomorrow.
Well, I look forward to the release of their findings, and I think that if I'm understanding your question correctly, if they're engaging in court watch and they're going to observe these kinds of proceedings, that's an important part of our criminal legal system. And I've made very clear that I don't believe New Yorkers should have to choose between safety and justice. We have to be able to deliver both of these things. And I was sharing earlier about some of the achievements that our administration is proud of when it comes to the fewest murders on record and comes to the fewest shooting incidents on record. And also, we know that every single day is an opportunity to do better. So I look forward to the findings, and we'll review those. Thank you.
Thank you, Heather. Okay, I've got time for two more. We'll go to Chris from Politico, and then we'll go to Catherine.
Chris, did you recently get married?
No.
Oh.
I know you did.
Well, yeah, I mean, somewhat. I just saw your wedding ring, and I've never seen it before.
Yep. No, it's been like a decade.
Oh.
Are you always trying to throw me off before I ask you questions?
No,
I'm starting to sense a trend here.
I just wanted to wish you congratulations.
Anyways, wanted to ask you about
observing things we're all thinking.
Wanted to ask you two very different things, having nothing to do with what you just talked about. The Elizabeth Street Garden. Your administration is going to walk away from the plan to build housing in the garden. How do you explain doing this, given you promised last year that you would move forward with that plan? And then on a totally different topic, the City Council announced today that it's launching an investigation into prediction markets. I'm curious where you stand on the idea of regulating prediction markets. Do you think there needs to be more regulation on that in order to protect from deceptive marketing practices? And who do you think should ultimately regulate prediction markets, the state or the federal government?
I think to be direct, yes. I think there needs to be more regulation. I think it's an open conversation as to what each level of government should do. However, I don't think that we have seen the limits of that regulation as yet. And I appreciate especially the Attorney General for having taken action on this. I think it was a couple of weeks ago. And on your first question, it was in the campaign itself, before the general election, that I shared with New Yorkers that the actions of former First Deputy Mayor Randy Mastro made it nearly impossible for any future administration to be able to fulfill a vision of building housing on the Elizabeth Street Garden site. So while we are working to resolve the lawsuit with the developers who are set to build upon that site, we continue to believe in the importance of building more affordable housing, and that is why we are going to be building more than 180 homes at 22 Suffolk Street and more at 100 Gold as well.
Thank you.
And that's what I said over the course, in the final, I think it was a week before the general election, that those actions made it nearly impossible for us to move forward.
Thank you, Chris. Last question will be Catherine from Chris.
Hi, Mayor.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How's it going?
Going well.
On the pied-à-terre lawsuit,
yes.
The city has continued to implement the tax while it appeals the decision from Monday. But if the court ultimately rules in favor of the plaintiffs in that case, does that mean all of this implementation work is for nothing? Like, is the city doing anything to sort of prepare for that fact if, they have to start from scratch? And also on Elizabeth Street Garden, did you ask the legislature after coming into office if they would at all be willing to explore lifting that designation?
I think we've been clear that the actions of the prior administration made it nearly impossible to proceed on that vision and proceed on it in a way that would be realistic. And when it comes to your first question, we continue to be confident not only in the importance of a tax on secondary homes worth more than $5 million, in the necessity of the $500 million it would raise towards making sure that our streets are safer, making sure that our schools are stronger, that our city is more affordable. And also our law department has informed Mr. Mastro that it will appear before the Appellate Division, Second Department on Thursday morning to address the stay and any other related matters.
What do you have to say concerning this video? I hope you heard everything. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Let's know what you think. I really appreciate your time for watching. For more updates like this, subscribe to this channel. See you in the next one, and bye.